Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be swatching out the birthday ink sampler I got from Goulet Pens recently. Last year they had sent me 8 inks and this year only 5, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe they had to cut costs for some reason or another. You pretty much are aware of prices are going up everywhere, even when companies or brands just genuinely don't want to raise prices. They have no choice in this current economy for political reasons I won't get into here. And one of the inks they sent me I already have, Améthyste de L'Oral, Amethyst of the Urals by Jacques Herbin. I love this ink. I cannot complain about getting more of an ink I already absolutely adore, particularly because this is also one of my favorite purple inks. As you guys can see, this is one of my earliest swatch cards. I did try to squeeze it all in and of course failing badly, and then I realized over time, oh yeah, I put the name of the ink at the bottom and the brand at the top, so I'm not frantically squeezing everything into a little bit of, ounce and a little scrap of space. And the other ones I got were Noodler's Purple Heart. They always seem to send a Noodler's sample when they do the inks. They really love that brand over there. Blue Lightning from Diamine. I think, yeah, this looks like it's a shimmer ink. And Polar Glow from Diamine. I had been considering this at one point. I think it was, yeah, between Jack Frost, Polar Glow, and Arctic Blue, and I decided on Arctic Blue, which is a really beautiful, darker medium kind of blue shimmer ink. This is a sheening ink. It's not a shimmering ink. I'm sorry. I'm fumbling for words. This video is unscripted, and I already deleted a couple of videos in progress because I was just rambling way too much. And finally, a Colorverse ink, Pulsar Pulse, which is also a blue ink, and this does not look shimmery to me at all, but I guess I'll shake it up just in case. And now let's just start swatching. First up is Purple Heart from Noodler's. This is a nice shade. It looks kind of winey, burgundy-ish. Given the title, I'm probably guessing it refers to the color of the Purple Heart metal, but this looks, Purple Heart is more obviously purple, and this looks more like of a wine color, but whatever the reason for the name, I'm liking it. It's a nice ink. I would guess this is falling more on the medium spectrum of purple, and as I said, it doesn't really look too much like the traditional purple. It's more one of those, I guess, more subtle shades of purple, the purplish brown kind of shade, but no complaints here. This is a lovely, beautiful shade, and it seems to be drying up a little bit lighter. It's starting to remind me of that orchid flower from Noodler, which was a surprise free sample from Pen Chalet at their April Fool's Day sale they sent along with one of the pens I got. I'm liking it. I'll have to see how it looks in writing with the dip pen, but yeah, this is a great choice for me. I love purple, my absolute favorite color, and blue is my next favorite. So yeah, they knocked it out of the damn ballpark. I don't really buy from them so much because their prices do seem to be a little bit higher, but I'm not against their store, certain people on Reddit. Not going to get into that drama any further, but it's nice to spread the love around and shop at a number of different pen stores instead of oh, these are my top 3 or my top 5 and I only ever want to shop from them. No, I'm not breaking my loyalty there, but it's nice to just give love and attention to a variety of small businesses, particularly in the pen community. This is a really, I guess, close-knit community. Many people feel, I'm sorry if I sound breathless and stuff. This video is unscripted. Purple Heart Noodlers. So hopefully I will not run out of space at the bottom, particularly now that I know I was making so many embarrassing mistakes in my earliest swatch cards. Why am I having to squeeze? Oh yeah, because I can write at the top too. Why was I trying to put everything on the same space down below? And it looks really nice and thick here, but frequently I have found, and other people have corroborated their own experiences, the way an ink writes with a dip pen and on a swatch card, it often looks much differently than the ink comes out in the fountain pen writing. Oh, it's drying up a little bit, a shade or two darker than it was going down, so that's really nice. Ooh, I haven't personally used any Noodler's inks yet, except for the ones I got from the free sample. I put the infamous Bay State Blue in a pen, one of those free Améthyste pens from a fountain pen revolution, but it just didn't want to, you know, come out. I was, you know, kind of afraid of putting it in like any other kinds of pens because of the infamous stories. Oh, it smudges and stains like crazy and you'll never get out of anything. But yeah, this is a nice shade. This is a winner for me. Next up is Polar Glow from Diamine, and I do most profusely apologize for not having zoomed in closer for this first segment. Wow, this is beautiful. I've seen swatches of it before, but never in person. This is a lovely ink. I could totally see myself getting a full bottle of it. It reminds me a bit of Lust, also from Diamine, part of the Cult Pens exclusive 7 Deadly Sins line. It's beautiful. Lust is one of my favorite medium blues, and I believe the sheen is red. This is, I'm sorry, I'm just babbling and saying the same thing over and over like a broken record, but wow, I'm enjoying this. This is a great thing they gave me, particularly because I have been, you know, thinking about this for quite some time, and I do love sheening inks. I know a lot of people are kind of sick to the back teeth of them by now, but they all do something a little bit different. They're not just, you know, the same exact color over and over again, even though the sheening particles, like laws of chemistry, can only like do like so much. For example, you can't get like purple to sheen, I don't know what, like gray or something. I guess you could get it to sheen gray, but like the combinations I see over and over again, they're like, you know, blue with red, green with like red, or the red is kind of like a purpley red, red with a little bit of black, purple with kind of like a goldy yellowy sheen, red with a golden sheen or like an orangey green sheen. But you can't really get like too far outside of that spectrum, because then you're just like trying to reinvent the laws of chemistry, and that doesn't happen. This came from a previous ink vent. I don't know what year or color version off the top of my head, because I only, you know, started getting the ink vents last year, and I know it wasn't part of the purple one, which I thought about but didn't get in 2023. Polar Glow, and what a beautiful polar glow this is. I hope I'm not leaning too far into the camera. I could totally see myself getting a full bottle of this, particularly because I love blue. I cannot have enough blue inks. So freaking beautiful. Diamine. It flows smoothly, very wet, well lubricated ink, at least from this small sample. But that's not really a surprise with like Diamine. Their inks are pretty much all well behaving, although they do have some inks that are on the drier side. I love this ink. It's really, really beautiful. Third up is Blue Lightning from Diamine. This looks on the medium side of the spectrum. I guess it's kind of close to the Polar Glow in the darker parts, but, you know, much lighter on the, I guess, the lighter side of medium. It is a shimmer ink, so I had to shake it up. Am I seeing a sheen, or is that just my imagination? Or maybe this isn't the, you know, the right brush to do it with. It's a much different shape than the other brushes I use for my swatching, but those two are soaking at present, and I didn't want to risk putting a brush that still had so much of the same ink color, you know, clinging to it. So I'll be rinsing them out before I get to the fourth and final ink, Blue Lightning. But it looks really nice in the little darkest patch up at the top. Nice. This is a beautiful, beautiful shade of blue. Can never have too much blue. And if an ink is too light, I guess it just like depends on the kind of pen you're writing with, like a broad or a juicy medium, or of course the stub nibs, or like, you know, double broad, the coarse nibs, zoom nibs, music nibs. You're starting to get into specialty types of nibs. Ooh, nice, lovely. As I was saying, you know, when you really have to get into kind of like, you know, specialty large nibs if you want like more than the standard but broader stub. I'm liking this a lot. Maybe not necessarily enough to get a full bottle, because it is on the, you know, lighter side for my personal taste, but wow, this is a a really, really nice lighter shade of blue, and I really hope the shimmer particles dry up to make it look even prettier. What I'm seeing so far, it looks like the shimmers are also blue, or maybe they're kind of like a silvery blue. One of the annoying things that I've said so many times and everyone else does about the shimmer inks is, you know, as pretty and lovely and like evocative as they are, you just have to shake the damn things up 11 million times to get the full effect and keep the shimmers in there. This is called Blue Lightning from Diamine. I better write the brand name up at the top so I don't risk, dragging my hand through it. And I'm still writing in that awkward position with part of my arm hanging off of the desk because of the way I'm positioning my overhead tripod at present. I hope I didn't just lean into the frame. That was a humiliating mistake I made a number of times during my earliest Inkvent videos this past month. Blue Lightning. This is a gorgeous, and I have to curl my arm around the tripod too because of, the way this is positioned. I can't like write normally with the tripod in the way. Lightning. I hope I can squeeze all that in. There's a will, there's a way. I have just enough space to make it work. It's a bit smudged and squeezed at the end, but who really cares? It is a pretty ink. Last but not least is Pulsar Pulse from Colorverse. Ooh, I like this one immediately. I really don't have nearly enough Colorverse inks. I had a free sample Winter of Mudeong. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. That was a free gift from Goldspot last year for, I think it was either Fountain Pen Day or Black Friday. I believe it was a Fountain Pen Day. And then I got Wolf Point, which is now out of print. That was an exclusive ink made for Atlas stationers. And what else do I have from oh yeah, I have Coffee Break from Colorverse. It's one of my favorite brands, but I can't really think of any other Colorverse inks which I have at present. Yeah, I'm glancing over. Those are the only like 3 I know about that I have, but I'm definitely open to exploring more of the brand. But there comes a certain point, oh, I have enough ink already. Do I need to get even more just to show love to a different brand? But they do have a lot of really, fun, inventive inks with, like sweet themes, like the animals, and I love their space themes. Maybe I would consider getting their Colorvent calendar next December, or at least if it looks like there's going to be a nice color palette, not, so many like earth tones like there were this year. But I ended up, once I saw people actually swatching the Colorvent in real time, thinking, oh, there's way more colors in here than I thought would be my style when I watched that spoiler video in November, when I thought, oh, they're just too many like earth tones or light tones. But yeah, seeing them in person, not in person, but in actual real-time swatching videos totally changed my mind. Oh, I would totally love to get a full bottle of this, and it does not look like there is any shimmering in it. That didn't look like that in the bottle, but I shook it up just to make sure. Yeah, 100% one of the brands I would love to get more into, but I do need to use up some of my inks first before I keep bringing new stuff in. But I can never complain about yet another beautiful, unique shade of blue. This looks like it's leaning teal. No complaints there. I love teal, my third favorite color. Such a beautiful and bright. Oh, particularly after we just finished the teal edition Inkvent calendar. My #1 favorite from that is still day #1 Celestial Skies. That is totally going on my full bottle list, and I am working on organizing my metadata and stuff about what ink is this color, how many inks are in this color family, and what inks have this property, and what are my favorites, and what was each ink by each day, so I can have more, I guess, organization when I put together and do my video, doing the wrap up and final thoughts and favorite colors and such. I'm really digging this. It's a lovely, beautiful, beautiful color. Like whoever selected these inks at Goulet, like totally, you know, knocked it out of the damn ballpark, getting my taste just right. I love this ink. I could totally see myself putting it in a pen already. This is that freaking beautiful. So to recap, here is Noodler's Purple Heart, which is a really lovely shade, more of like a mauvey burgundy than your true traditional purple like this. Améthyste de Laurel by Jacques Herbin, which was the one I already had in my personal collection, but you know, no complaints there. Like sending me an ink I already have and love, particularly my favorite color, Diamine Purple Glow, which has a red sheen. It's not an extreme monster sheener, so it's not, you know, taking over the whole damn like swatch cards. Like, oh, I like the base color. Oh, surprise! There's a huge like green patch covering up the pretty purple. Or oh, I can only see like gold or red or something like that, purpley like shiny reddish purple over the green. And this is the Blue Lightning by Diamine. That's a really a gorgeous shimmer they have. It looks like kind of like a silvery blue. I'm sorry if I'm holding it out of frame. I'm standing up to do this final portion. And then there's Colorverse Pulsar Pulse. I love this one. It's a beautiful, beautiful teal. Can't go wrong with an amazing color of teal. Thank you guys very much for watching all the way through to the end. Let me know down in the comments, do you have any of these particular inks, or do you have their, you know, brands in general? Do you enjoy getting like free birthday ink samplers or like discounts from pen and stationery stores for your birthday? So thanks again for watching. Bye.